Hey y'all, happy Worth It Wednesday. Every Wednesday we send a principle worth learning, a question worth answering, and a recommendation worth taking. Today's principle is that gratitude is the antidote to apathy. So let's work backwards. What is apathy? Apathy is carelessness. What does carelessness often look like? Well, it looks like stagnancy. It looks like complacency. Sometimes it can look like depression. I love this quote. I don't know who originally said it, but it says that the opposite of love is not necessarily hate, because the person that hates still cares about something. The opposite of love is apathy. It's the person that just gives up that you really, really feel bad for, because it means that they have nothing to hope for, but also nothing to be present in today. So let's return to the principle. We said gratitude is the antidote to apathy. So the antidote is the cure-all, right? It's the thing that when it coincides with apathy, it cures it. It diminishes it. It loosens its grip. So what is the antidote? Well, we said the antidote is gratitude. And what is gratitude? Well, gratitude is thankfulness. Gratitude is cheerfulness. Gratitude is the ability to not take things for granted. So now let's look at how the principle works. Gratitude is the antidote to apathy. Well, when we are grateful for what we currently have in the present, for what's been in the past, and for what's possible in the future, you can't do that and be apathetic at the same time. Because when I become grateful, number one, the first thing that happens is I start to recognize there's a lot of blessing that I have in the present. There's a lot of gifts that I have in the present. There's a lot of gifts that you have in the present. There's a lot of things that we are experiencing right now in this exact moment today that we're so far from guaranteed, that we would be wise to care about. And this that really has nothing to do with social status or stage or circumstance. I just am of the belief that there is always something to be grateful for. And if you don't think that, then that is the apathy that we're talking about, right? So you've got to believe that there's always something to be grateful for. And maybe I haven't found it yet, but I've got to believe that it's here. And so it makes us not take the present for granted, because we woke up this morning, right? We're breathing. I mean, like, we have hopefully health. Maybe we've got some relationships. Maybe we've got some opportunities. Maybe we can walk. Maybe we can see. Maybe we can hear. Maybe there's incredible weather outside that wasn't guaranteed. Maybe we've got food on our table today. Like, there's so much. And the thing that I always try to remember is there's people that have it 10x more challenging than I do that are still finding a way to be grateful. So I can find a way to be grateful. You can find a way to be grateful. And so it makes us not take the present for granted, but then also it propels us towards the future, and it allows us not to be apathetic for the future. Why does it do that? Because when we stop taking the present for granted, well, we start to look like, oh my gosh, the person that's outrageously grateful is the person that knows they've been incredibly blessed. And when you start to recognize that you've been incredibly blessed, that there's things in your life that you can't explain, that there's gifts that you have that you didn't earn and you may not deserve, but you have them anyway, you can't not take action. You can't not start caring. Because if you're grateful for those things, well, then you're like, okay, now I have to use these and go one step further. Now I have to use these to help others. Contribution. So what's the principle? Gratitude is the antidote to apathy. It's the cure-all. And so what would it look like for you today to practice gratitude? Here's one thing that I'm going to do today. I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes, and I'm going to put my hand on my chest. There's actually psychology that says there's something that happens whenever you can actually feel your heartbeat. I'm going to put my hand on my chest, and I'm going to close my eyes, and I'm just going to experience the things that I'm grateful for as I'm breathing in and out. I would challenge you to do that as well. Hey, we send this email every Wednesday, so if this is helpful, we'd love to have you as part of this crew. So many of you have signed up and shared this, which we're so grateful for. You can sign up at pathforgrowth.com. It's called Worth It Wednesday. and we'd love to have you on board. Appreciate y'all, rooting for you. Remember, my strength is not for me. Your strength is not for you. Our strength is for service. Let's go, let's go, let's go.